Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included here in the 100 Duplicant Challenge. We are about to launch our new oxygen system, however there were a couple of accidents that I still have to address. For one, we left a bunch of debris in here and also a little bit of brine in the beginning actually made it over there. Also, we can now see this resulted in a layer of brine here at the bottom. The way I'm gonna address this is by making a little liquid lock in order to get inside of here. Let's actually do it like so and bring this a little bit further up. This way I will be able to enter without disturbing the atmosphere too much. Also, I enabled all of the electrolyzers and added a couple more manual generators in order to speed things up, and we can now see we have a very good pressure here with the oxygen, and the hydrogen here is at a very high pressure. So we'll kind of have to make sure that we always pump things out quite evenly. Otherwise, a lot of the oxygen is gonna land in here. The good thing about this is the pump that is responsible for picking up the oxygen is never gonna go into the hydrogen generators. Only these two pumps are actually doing that. That means theoretically we should be able to launch the system and actually get some of the hydrogen already into the hydrogen generators. Let me actually test this out. What if I enable these two pumps here at the top? Let's go ahead and set a reasonable setting for the hydrogen. Honestly, I forgot the numbers, but I do like to play around with the system a little bit. We're just going to go above 1000 grams. That's going to be the threshold to activate the pumps. This should theoretically be the case. There we go. And now if we did everything right, then hydrogen is only going to go through here. And then the oxygen that we occasionally pick up from these two tiles should be going straight up. This in theory should give me a little bit of a better distribution, and whenever this sensor here actually touches the oxygen, if that ever happens in the future, then we should still be good. You know, at least once the system is running. Right now in the beginning we still picked up some of the oxygen, but that might also be because we have none of the other pumps running. So we should probably do that. Yeah, it might be a problem that we don't have these pumps already hooked up to feed the base. Anyway, let's make a connection here, and then we're just gonna activate the entire system so that the oxygen doesn't push up as dramatically. Because of course, if we only pump out the hydrogen, oxygen is gonna make it all the way up, and that is not good. Also, I'm gonna go for 1500 grams for the hydrogen now, and let's also set something up here. 1500, it's probably, I need to go with more. Let's just see what happens with 1500 grams. And now also the oxygen is starting to travel up, and very soon the first hydrogen is gonna enter the generators. That should be good. And look at that, it's already 20 degrees here. Now this oxygen is gonna travel all the way up. It's gonna be cooled down and then distributed amongst these vents, not all of which I have set up. Ooh, that is gonna help us out so much. Currently, the hydrogen generators are disabled by the automation grid, but I want to change that. Let's go to 90%, and 50% is where I want them to start. And we're just going to copy that setting to the other battery. Probably not necessary, but there we go. That was the wrong element damage now. It's fine, we can easily access this room in order to repair things. And if in the future we don't get any more oxygen, we should be fine. That is all dependent on these two settings here and whether or not these two pumps are waiting their turn. Like right now is not the time to pick things up. So my guess is we have to lower this. Let's go with 1000 grams here. And up here, I'm gonna go with 2000 grams. And I know a lot of you know the actual numbers, which are most likely lower, but you know, I just like to figure things out a little bit. This way I understand them better in the future. Okay, now I left the system running for a little while and decided to go with a bunch more sensors in order to more accurately steer the contraption. So one sensor is taking care of the first 4 pumps and the next sensor is taking care of the next 5 pumps. The same thing here on the other side, and additionally for now I disabled this pump right here by just disabling the connection with the pipe. Currently the settings are pumping above 750 grams for the oxygen and 1500 grams for the hydrogen. At this point, even though we don't have that many data banks, I think it's time to dive into the first advanced research. And one thing I definitely would like to unlock is the steam turbine. Let's get that going. This might actually be the material study that we have to use for that. Here we have the virtual planetarium using the data banks. Either way, all of my bathrooms are now completely full and I have all of these thimble reeds planted. It is time to set up the next bathroom right there. And 5 sinks, there you go. And all we have to do is continue the piping and this should then already work properly. Bring this over and down with a bridge. like so, and we're golden. Here we can see the polluted water going into the farms, and therefore they should start growing. Yeah, okay, so far so good. We only got hydrogen since I changed the setting to what I just told you. And oh, actually maybe not. Maybe, no, this could be the old damage still. Yeah, it really looks good. However, this would actually almost completely eliminate the need for the middle pump right here. This could change whenever we are starting to use the full extent of our pumps. Right now, of course, not all are active. Wonderful. There we go. The upper bathroom can now already be utilized for the most part. Now, I need to figure out whether or not I have enough plants in order to eat up all of the poop water. We'll see. If not, then we just have some extra, which is something I gladly take. I also noticed I slowly but surely have the need for more dirt. I'm down to 3.5 tons. I did not actually realize. I had to undo a couple of these farm tiles in order to get dirt back. But there we go. Let's just go ahead and set up a whole bunch of composts right now, and we'll be farming for some additional dirt. Okay, a little update. I kept on playing for, I don't know, approximately 2 cycles or so. Together with the ranches and all the new plants, we're making more than enough food in order to disable 2 more microbe mushers, at least in terms of producing the mush bars. So only 2 mush bars are left at this point. We're now actively composting the polluted dirt, renewing some of our dirt. I also kept on exchanging some of these tiles and changing them to clay farm tiles. We also got our first tamed pacus. I will still have to kind of manage this manually. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna set up a dispenser here so I can just drop the eggs manually. But also maybe inside the egg crackers, we wanna crack up the tropical fry eggs and maybe even the gulp fry eggs. We're now almost constantly having the buff. I noticed when it goes down to 0 seconds, then you have to restart with 25 journals. I'm not sure if that was just a bug or if that is the case. So if you cannot actually keep up, which we cannot quite, but it is active for most of the time, then it will go down to 0 and you have to restart with 25 journals. So right now we only have 11 journals left. If we wanted to keep this up at this pace, we would need a couple more dreamers, maybe 2 more. Everything here with the bathroom seems to be working. We are capable of using up all of the polluted water with the 6 plants we currently have installed. Actually, I have 7 plants installed. Also, if we have a look at the vents, I'm now pumping this through here, and I also installed another vent here at the top. And I'm gonna install yet another vent here at the bottom, just to get the oxygen distribution a little bit better. Right now, we still have a large amount of carbon dioxide that needs to settle to the bottom. Also, I changed the settings here again. This seems to be working the best with 750 grams for the hydrogen and then 1000 grams for the oxygen. And this way I never had a mix-up. Otherwise, these guys were picking up some hydrogen every now and then. Whether or not I'm gonna be using the 3rd pump, I don't know yet, but it is there in case I do. In terms of temperature, this also seems to be working out right here. We still had a little bit of a temperature issue, but this is now slowly getting better, and one after another these plants can grow. Now, if we do the math, there is one problem. If this system keeps running at capacity, we would be using up an entire pipe worth of water. Checking out what we currently have in terms of water production, this has a calculated average output of 1.42 kilograms. And the other one, where is it? Right here, has an output of 1.04 kilograms. So even if we use up all of the liquid these 2 guys are producing, we are only a quarter there to supply this oxygen farm. Yeah, honestly, this is a huge problem. Also, the vent right here is just a hydrogen vent, and there was another one. Let me see. It was actually right here. Let's go ahead and open this up, see what it is, but I suspect it is also nothing useful. Yeah, that's what I thought. A carbon dioxide geyser. So essentially what we have to do is we have to get a bunch of duplicants over to the 2nd planetoid, which we are gonna oversee right now. See the destination. It is called Mukina. Let's oversee the planetoid. What can we find here? A lot of polluted oxygen. So this might be very easy to conquer as usual. The 2nd planetoid shouldn't be that troublesome. So what I want to do is take one of my builders that is full of calories, such as this guy, 11, and I'm going to send him over, number 11 builder. So you are going to use the teleporter and be transported over in order to set up a little infrastructure. Of course, he has to take a last poop before actually going over there. There we go. Wonderful. Yeah, you're hungry. Probably not that much. You still have 3000 calories. You're like the most stuffed guy in the colony. So without any further ado, Well, let's inspect it and teleport. See ya on the other side. So here it is, the second planetoid. What do I want from this planetoid? I basically want to collect all the liquid in the first step. We have a little bit of food that we can take advantage of here. And then we want to go ahead and activate the teleporter. So we want to find the teleporter and start pumping over the water. That means we need infrastructure in terms of coal, and then maybe we send 1 or 2 duplicants over. I'm gonna leave the cryo tank unopened in case we lose a duplicant. We can still replenish the duplicants this way. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and open some of this up. Maybe we can go ahead and just enable auto harvest for everything basically. And then there's also a little bit of nutrient bars here in the storage bin. So we can even survive for 13 cycles with a single duplicant without even doing anything. That means all we really need is an outhouse and maybe a sink. Yeah, let's put a wash basin here. We have sedimentary rock, so we should build everything out of that. I'm gonna dig out this part right here, build a bedroom as well. It really doesn't need to be anything special for this world, just the bare minimum to be able to survive. But let's welcome 11 builder. We should be able to analyze a couple of these things, like just inspect them in order to get more data banks. As soon as we dug up a little bit of cobalt ore, I'm also gonna give 11 builder a mess table. And then if we keep going here a little bit and just open this up, we should be able to breathe the polluted oxygen. Alright, looks like we're making some progress. We got a wash basin here. Eventually I'm gonna have a pitcher pump so we can just use this water to keep this steady. Now, do we have some dirt? Yeah, we also have dirt available. We already picked up some cobalt, so I'm just gonna set up a mess table and that's gonna be it. Now the question is, do we send a second duplicant? Probably, because eventually I'm gonna need a duplicant here permanently and it's not gonna be the builder. So let's search for an average duplicant. Just look at these guys. They're now just buffed throughout. I think I'm just gonna send over number 54 as well. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's not the duplicant that is necessary in the main base. Now we still have to wait for this thing to recharge. It's gonna take about 3 cycles if I'm not mistaken. I think it's now also time to set up a material study, and I'm gonna do that right here. This should already be hooked up. Now this might not make sense, and I'm probably gonna move this somewhere up here where we're actually producing wrap bolts, but I just wanna do this as a reminder. Right now I'm just going through the research that I can do, and then whenever we are ready or in need, I'm gonna continue. Right now all I'm concerned about is my water supplies. I will have to replenish them. As a matter of fact, it's now time to hook this up again. Let's see if that actually works. Yeah, it's now being divided up. That is good. So we can replenish some of our water supplies and keep things going. Unfortunately, I had more instances of starving dupes because the ranches were kind of not being as productive. So I had to reinitiate some of the mush bar production again. I might even have to go with another microbe musher. You know, theoretically, since we have some ethanol here on the second planetoid, we could just go with a petroleum generator. This would probably be enough if we get the smart battery. But yeah, as a priority, I first have to get this done here. Also, by the way, we're still finding a little bit of muck root every now and then as we're digging our way through the terrain. Now this guy is still producing, and right now it's 75 degrees. Can we build this out of a material that gives us overheat temperature? Like obsidian would be plus 15 degrees, and so would granite. It is currently built out of sandstone, so yeah, let's go ahead, deconstruct this and build it out of a better material. Oh, looks like we actually do need the central pump. That is interesting. Yeah, now we have max gas pressure everywhere, not producing oxygen because the third pump isn't activated. So that means we would have to activate this and then lead it into a different hydrogen generator system. Now we could actually improve this a little bit by building a gas bridge right here that goes over into the other system. Let me actually do this for both systems. Let me see. Yeah, we want to hop over at some point and then hop over here. So it will first attempt to fill up these pipes if they're not already full, and then try to fill up the other pipes if they're not already full. And only if that fails, it is gonna go all the way up. And right now we're just collecting the hydrogen, but eventually I'm gonna be using it. Let's maybe open up some more space here. In terms of oxygen production, it is already looking much better. I would say we can now tackle the carbon dioxide a little bit more effectively by using a carbon skimmer. We basically want to have that somewhere at the bottom of the base. We could have it right here. Yeah, let's take out these two. And then all we really have to do is hook it up to our current water sieve loop. So say we use this existing pipe for the waste of the carbon skimmer, and then we can introduce fresh water from our bathroom. And this is gonna also go all the way down here. Just a little bridge here and there and whoop, there. There's my carbon skimmer, and I just noticed I will have to reverse that bridge. This is the incoming path, and then we should be able to hook this up like so. Good, looks like we're almost done here on the second planetoid, kind of investing in the first infrastructure, and then I'm gonna hunt down all the liquid and I'm gonna try to find the teleporter. This is actually the wrong one, but we also might want to supply some stuff here to the second planetoid so the building gets a little bit easier. If we wanted to do something maybe with plastics later on. But yeah, looking forward to exploring more of that in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.